Welcome to Chamber Chat. I'm John Terr, President and CEO of the Boulder Chamber, and I welcome you to a conversation that we're going to have today, which is about an issue that is so important to our business community. First, we know our business community needs energy and we need it sustainably, because we also care not only about reliable energy sources, but the impacts that it has on our environment, and making sure that we are responsible in our use of energy. And we have a great partner in addressing our energy needs and helping to do it in a responsible way with Xcel Energy. And so I'm just so honored today as he just gets oriented into his relatively new position at Xcel Energy to have Robert Kenney, who is the president of Xcel Energy, join us today for a conversation about some of the energy issues that impact our businesses in this community. So first thing I'm just going to ask, maybe Robert, just if you can just give a quick little background just on your own past history and work in the energy field.
Well, John, first, thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here, and it's an honor to be on the Chamber Chat with you.
All over the universe, yeah. The internets.
There we go. Robert Kenney, I am originally from St. Louis, Missouri. My background is in law. I was a practicing lawyer for a particular period of time. Same thing.
Yeah.
And I had the privilege and pleasure of being in both the public sector and the private sector. There was a point in time where I worked for our state attorney general in Missouri, who then became the governor of the state of Missouri and appointed me to our state public utilities commission. Wow. So that was my introduction into public utility regulation and into the energy space. I fell in love with it as an area of law and public policy, and when my term expired, I had an opportunity to go to California and run regulatory affairs at another utility in the Bay Area.
Small one.
Pacific Gas and Electric Company.
Yeah, very good.
I guess it's no secret. And then I was really fortunate to have the opportunity about 3 months ago to come to Xcel. And so I joined Xcel in June of this year, so I'm just shy of 100 days actually.
Okay.
But so my background is in public
Did you
policy.
accomplish a huge amount in the first 100 days? Is that, or are you just meeting with people like me? That's like
That is a huge accomplishment.
That's
One of
awesome.
my hugest accomplishments is being on Chamber Chat. So within my first 100 days.
Awesome.
So I have spent a lot of time listening and getting to learn both my team internally and getting to learn the lay of the land with our stakeholders and policymakers externally.
Gotcha. Well, it's a huge responsibility you're taking on. And it sounds like you just had a great experience in just seeing the energy industry across a number of states, across the United States. What are you seeing in terms of the changing dynamics in energy utility business over time in your career?
You know, I think what we've seen, particularly over the last 5 to 7 to 10 years, is the more explicit intersection of energy policy and environmental policy. I think utilities have a special ability and have an ability to be able to lead the clean energy transition. And one of the things that has excited me, and one of the reasons I came out here, was because of Xcel's leadership in driving carbon out of our business, and then helping to deploy other new technologies, helping to be the catalyst for transportation electrification. And so that's probably the biggest evolution that I think we've seen in our industry over the last, half dozen years or so.
Yeah, and I know that, and we'll talk about it a little bit more probably later, but Xcel has been a leader in that area, and it's interesting that what drew you maybe to Colorado, was it explicitly the work that Xcel has been doing?
Yeah, it was explicitly this opportunity. It was a great leadership opportunity that was really attractive, and the company itself is nationally known for its leadership of the clean energy transition, and recognizing that that's an existential issue of our time and something that I feel very passionately about. The opportunity to come here and help drive that and help lead that was something that I couldn't say no to.
I love it. Well, so you stepped into this role, and hopefully no major crises that you have to deal with right away, but it is an important position for our state, and there's many different elements to it. So I'm going to ask you, just put you on the spot, what keeps you up at night, in a role like this?
Well, I'll say this, probably a few things that I have that keep my brain whirring before I go to bed. And I'd say making sure that our coworkers go home safely at the end of the day. We have people that are out in the field, making sure that the lights stay on and the gas molecules stay flowing. And so running a safe system, making sure that our coworkers and contractors and employees are safe, and then making sure the public is safe too. So safety is always priority one. So that's an issue that I think about quite regularly. I think with the increasing heat-driven climate change issues that we're seeing and the strains on the electric system, maintaining reliability is obviously something that I spend a lot of time thinking about. So safety, reliability, and then the things that we're doing around the clean energy transition don't necessarily keep me up at night, but it's something that I've got to prioritize in my brain. And then all three of those things, doing those things in a way that's sensitive to affordability. Those are the issues that I'm laser focused on.
Yeah, and I'm sure we could do a whole chamber chat on each area, the facet of that, but you talked about that intersection of sort of the climate and the energy services, and it's incredibly complex as I learn about it. And I know that it's coming to somewhat of a head in the clean energy plan that Xcel is moving forward. So maybe if you just talk a little bit about what we see going forward that's interesting new for our region in the clean energy plan. And I'm just going to again put you on the spot a little bit. One of the issues that's important to businesses is the cost of energy as we go through this transition. So maybe if you could hit on sort of those two elements.
Yeah, and I think it's, I'll start with the clean energy plan. It began before I joined the company, and so I can't take credit for it, but I'm very proud of it. And it is one of the things that was very attractive to me as I was researching the company. And so I think the clean energy plan was approved this summer. It will lead to 80% of our energy delivered being from renewable resources, and it will help us reduce carbon emissions 85% from 2005 levels, and that's what the IPCC tells us is necessary to avert the most disastrous consequences of climate change and keep us at 1.5 degrees Celsius. So that's really exciting, and that to me is, as I said earlier, it's what drives me. It's one of my passions, is making sure that we're driving carbon out of the system and that we're contributing to mitigating the worst effects of climate change. So that's job one, or that's point one about the clean energy plan. It was a settlement among a whole group of stakeholders, which I think is also important from a public policy perspective, is to come up with proposals that reflect the hopes, desires, wants, and needs of a broad array of stakeholders. And so we submitted that proposal to the PUC, or that settlement to the PUC. They approved it earlier this summer. What will happen next is we will issue requests for proposals, and we will issue what are called all source RFPs, where we will ask providers to provide us a portfolio of measures that will meet the needs in the clean power plan, or the clean energy plan. So we are planning to deploy 2,400 megawatts of wind, 1,600 megawatts of large scale solar, 400 megawatts of energy storage, 1,200 megawatts of distributed solar resources, and 1,300 megawatts of 24/7 dispatchable resources. So those are the broad parameters. We will ask people to tell us, how can you help us meet those needs, and we'll get back a bunch of proposals. The other really critical component of the clean energy plan is the retirement of Comanche 3 10 years ahead of time. So this was a coal-fired plant in Pueblo. We had already agreed to retire units 1 and 2, and unit 3 was scheduled to be retired by 2040. That's accelerated 10 years to 2030. So that's really exciting. So we'll be retiring all the coal that's in the state. To your point about the costs, we will again issue RFPs. We'll get back proposals. I don't think we know yet what the cost will be. Presumably we'll get the cost for these resources. We will put together what we will call a preferred portfolio, and we will submit that to the PUC, and there will be a public process that happens again where people get to opine and offer their opinion on it.
We'll be opining, I'm sure.
I'm certain. And so I don't think we know yet what it's going to cost. But to your broader question, obviously affordability is something that we have to be focused on. I think it's incumbent upon us to be good stewards of our customers' money, and that's what we intend to keep doing.
Good. And I know the sensitivity that you've had in the past around the condition of businesses getting through difficult, challenging times. So I know we'll have positive conversations in that space. So then maybe just sort of conclude the conversation with something looking way down the road, and just thinking about you're new in this position, getting grounded, but you see sort of the roadmap for the future. What would you, Robert Kenney, want as your legacy down the road from your work with Xcel?
I think we're already viewed as really good collaborative partners.
Mm-hmm.
What I hope to be able to do and what I hope to be able to look back upon my career and say is that we drove great corporate social responsibility and that we were viewed as an integral, critical partner in driving our community's vitality. Whether that's through the jobs we provide, whether that's through the charitable contributions that we make, whether it's through driving the clean energy transition that we're continuing to do.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that we are viewed as a transparent, humble, empathetic community partner.
Mm-hmm.
And if people can look back and say that Robert Kenney was exactly that, I would feel very proud.
I love it. Well, I'll just say this. We've only met briefly, but already great just sense of just the values that you hold. And you know, I know that all of our businesses face that struggle of wanting to make sure that they're successful in their business operations, while at the same time meeting those critical needs around environmental issues, social equity, all the things that concern us as values. And so I'm excited, and I have enjoyed our relationship and partnership with Xcel Energy and your staff team, but just to continue that with you, and look forward to just engaging with the rest of the Boulder community, business community, in that effort that you described. So look forward to helping you succeed in that legacy. So,
Well, John, thanks for having me. I can't tell you how tremendously excited I am to be a part of the community, and I look forward to working with you and all your members.
I love it. Well, thank you for being on Chamber Chat so early in your tenure.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on Chamber Chat.